Everyone, and today's topic is on solving simultaneous equations. And you'll find that in other books written as solving systems of equations. It's always the same thing. Now, before you can solve a simultaneous equation, it's important that you are confident solving two-step equations like these: 2x plus 2 equals to 30, 4x equals to 36, and the rest of this. If you're not so sure, you can actually look at other videos that I have put forward, like the one solving algebraic equations for beginners. Else, let's get started with today's simultaneous equations using elimination method. So, for example, you have 2a plus 5b equals to 35. And my second equation is 2a plus 9b. And if I put 35 as well. Now, if I look at the middle numbers, if I look at that, 5b and 9b, it's very difficult to eliminate that. Okay. But on the first unknown, which is a, I've got minus 2a and plus 2a. So I know that there's an invisible positive there. So I could actually cancel these out temporarily. So if I cancel these out, I'll be left with 5b, 9b, which gives me 14b. On my right hand side, if I add these two numbers, I'll get 70. And from here, if I divide the left hand side by 14 and do the same on the right hand side, I'll have b equals to 5, because 14 into 70 goes 5 times. And here's my first unknown, b. As regards to the second unknown, I have to choose one of the equations, and I prefer to use a positive equation because I don't get confused with negative numbers. But if you feel confident with negative numbers, you can do the first one as well. So I've got 2a plus 9b equals to 35. I would substitute 5 in there where b is. And the rest of the numbers just remain as they are. So I've got just drop down the 2a plus, I've got 9 times 5 now equals to 35. 2a, 9 times 5 will give me 45. And on the right hand side, I still got 35. And now, in order to find or solve for a, you can just do a two-step equation this time. And what I'm going to do is just move that 45 to the other side. It will turn negative 45. And therefore, I'm left with 2a. 35 minus 45 will give you minus 10. And if I divide 2a by 2 and negative 10 by 2, I'll find that my answer is negative 5. All right, so in my first unknown, b equals to 5, and my second unknown, a equals to negative 5. Now, am I sure that these answers are correct or not? You can check. You can actually check and see whether these answers are correct or not. So you can use one of these equations to check. Again, I prefer to use positive equations just not to get confused with negative numbers. So my a is negative 5. So I plug negative 5 there, and my b is 5. If I plug my 5 in there, 2 times negative 5 will give me negative 10 plus 45. This will get me to 35. So I've got 35 on my left hand side, and I've got 35 on my right hand side. So the equation is balanced for both equations, and therefore I know that my answers are correct. Okay, let's move to the next question. The next question is slightly different, probably slightly difficult as well. So I've got 40 here, and it doesn't matter what variable you use. Um, we tend to use mods as x and y in math, but you could use any variable. So here we have 40 and s, like in time and seconds, equals to 78. And I have minus 3t plus 6s equals to, say, negative 6. All right. So let's see how we're going to eliminate this. I've got 40 here and minus 3. So these don't cancel each other. In the middle here, I've got 6x. I wish I had a negative 6x in order to cancel it, but unfortunately, I don't have negative. So I don't have a problem now. If you look at the previous example, we were lucky to have minus 2a and positive 2a, which could cancel each other. But in this second equation, unfortunately, we're stuck because we don't have negative here on the middle equation here, the second one. If I had negative 6x in one of these equations, it was possible to cancel it. So I'm sorting a problem now. Now, if I think of a way to work this out, is probably try to introduce negative. If I could multiply all that second equation with a negative 1, then this 6s here, which I'm targeting, would be negative 6s. All right. So let's see. Let me work out this and see what I'll get. If I do minus 3t, I'll get positive 3t. And if I do minus times positive 6x, I'll get minus 6s. And if I have minus and a minus, that will give me plus 6. So forget about the second equation for a moment, because now the second equation has turned into the third equation, which is 3t minus 6s equals to 6. Our intention is to eliminate that. So temporarily, if I could just eliminate that 6s by canceling those, and then I can work out what I'm left over. So I've got 40 and 3t will give me 70. And on the right hand side, I've got 78 minus 78 plus 6 this time, okay, which gives me 84. 7 into 12 will give me 84. Therefore, my t equals to 12. We can simply divide there by 7 if you like. So if we divide this by 7, divide this by 7, you'll get t equals to 12. So since I've got t equals to 12, it's possible for me to work out the other unknown, which is s. So I can choose one of these equations, the original equations I'm talking about, either equation 1 or 2. So I can, I prefer using the positive one with positive number because I don't want to get confused with negative numbers again. 40 plus 6s equals to 78. I know the fact that t is now 12. The rest of the equation remains as there. So I'm dropping down the 4. I'm dropping down 6s and 78. Now from here, we calculate 4 times 12 to get 48. I drop down the 6s and the 78. And then we can do our two-step equations here. I can move 78 to the other side, or if I want, I could actually just do negative 48 there, negative 48 there. 8 minus 8 will give me 0. 7 minus 4 will give me 3. So I've got 30 on this side. 48 and minus 48 will cancel up, so I'll be left with 6s. If I divide 6s by 6, I'll get 1s. And if I divide 30 by 6, I'll get 5. All right. So my first unknown t equals to 12 and my second unknown s equals to 5. Now, just to check that these answers are correct, I can plug them back into my first equation or second equation if I want to. But I prefer the positive equation, all right, so that I don't get confused with negative numbers. T equals to 12 and s is 5. 4 times 12 is 48 plus the 30 from 6 times 5. So I've got 48 plus 30, which will give me 78. The equation balances perfectly, so I know that my two answers are correct. Just quick review of what we've done. On the first equation, simultaneous, where we use elimination method, fortunately we had a negative 2a and a positive 2a that we could see and cancel it straight away. Work out what b is, found that b equals to 5, substitute b in one of the equations, okay, and we found that a equals to minus 5. In regards to the second equation, we had 40 plus 6s equals to 78, and the other equation minus 3t plus 6s equals to negative c. We had a problem because we didn't have a negative part on the first or second equation, so we had to create a negative equation because we wanted to eliminate one of the unknowns, and therefore we introduce -1 or a negative number and multiply the second equation to get our third equation, and then we use our first equation and third equation to eliminate and work out t, and we found that t equals to 12. Then we use that t to substitute into one of the equations, and we substituted if you look on the right hand side, t equals to 12, so we multiplied that to get 48 and 6x. We worked out what 6s is, and finally we found that s equals to 5. Substituted back just to check if these answers are correct, and we found that the equations balance correctly. That's all we have for today. Please, if you like this information, subscribe, uh, share it, and like as well. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye bye.